Yo, what's up everyone? We're about to give you a kick-ass intermediate press to handstand workout. Don't go anywhere. We're live already. We're just waiting for the notifications to go out and for Phil to come and join me. See you soon. So you want to know how to do a press to handstand? Well, in today's show, we are going to go out and do an intermediate press to handstand workout. Phil doesn't know what he's in for yet. And I'm going to show you some really cool stuff. If you're trying to learn how to do a press to handstand, this is going to be gold for you. Or if you can even do 1 rep, maybe 2 reps, but you want to get better at it, this is going to be a really, really good way to keep you going. Make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to reveal some of the big mistakes people are making. I'm going to show some more advanced compression strength routines, and we're going to answer some great questions from our online community. All that and more coming up right after this.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.
Hey everyone, in case we haven't met, my name's Rad Burmeister. I'm the co-founder of Unity Gym and co-creator of the UMS, the Unified Movement System, and I'm an expert press to handstander. Now that last bit was a lie. At Unity Gym, that's Phil, yeah. What we do at Unity Gym is we take driven people and turn them into superhumans. And the way we get such amazing results with our members is that we've created a program that has a balance between strength and flexibility. It's very unique. If you want to know how we get such astonishing results with our members, members, download the free flexibility blueprint. There's a link in the description of this video. How you doing, Phil?
Yep, good. Kind of glad that, it's a shame we didn't do a show yesterday, but it's given my body a chance to recover a little bit from the other day's session because, even if you're not doing you don't want to do a press to handstand, like this as a core workout is intense. And my body's feeling it, so ready to keep going, and it's been fun. So.
It sure is. It has been fun. It's been fun for me, and I'm going to enjoy today because today we're going to try and see if Phil can actually do a press to handstand with a little bit of help. Yeah, we are.
Wow. Okay.
We are. Yeah, we're going to
spoilers.
We're going to see how he goes with it. So. Let's get out on the gym floor. You might be asking, why have I got a pair of socks in my hand? And if you're not, you're probably thinking now, why has Rad got a pair of socks in his hand? Well, all that and more coming up. Let's get out on the gym floor and have a look. Oh, by the way, if you've just tuned in or if you're watching, please hit the like button. Show us some love.
Get some questions, get some comments in there. Let us know if you've given any of these movements a go over the last few days, and I'd be keen to hear if there's anyone else there.
Yeah. Let us know if you're feeling Phil's pain. If you're feeling the pain. Now, what we're going to do today, as always, we have to start with a little bit of a warm-up. So we're going to do a little bit of a different warm-up today, just purely for the purpose of showing some variation to what we're doing. So I don't want to just keep showing you the same thing, even though the stuff that I've shown you is my favorite way of warming up for a press to handstand. So let's just do a couple of ostrich walk reps, Phil. So we're just going to come down. I'm just putting the weight on my front leg as I step. I'm trying to get a dynamic stretch in the hamstring, just warming up. I love the ostrich walk as a warm up for the hamstring. This is something that I do when I'm stone cold. You can just start gently, and then as you get a little bit more warmed up, you can go into it a little bit more. But I really love dynamic stretching like this. Okay, another lap, Phil. So, as always, what we really need to do is warm up our hamstrings, posterior chain, and pancake. Okay, now we'll do a few Cossack squats. This time we'll just sink down and try and grab onto our feet and go side to side like this. Hey Mike, how are you? And then just going from side to side like this, and then coming, just rotating the hips a little bit. Mike, we're going to be about half an hour, man, before I'm free to have a chat if you...
I'll get a coffee.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. But I was trying to decide which workout I was going to do yesterday. It was between upper body bench press stuff or deadlift and Nordic hamstring curls. And I went with Nordic hamstring curls, and I'm regretting that today.
Yeah, really?
It's such a good exercise, but the DONS is real today, so touching toes is challenging today.
Let's see how you go. All right. So the next one that we're going to do is, I can do this here and then you can do it over there once you've watched me. So this is a really nice kind of a passive stretch for the posterior chain, but it's just something new to show you guys. To be honest, I wouldn't normally do this as a warm-up, but I just want to show you guys something new so we're not always doing the same thing. So you get relatively close to the wall, so your head's quite close. And now I'm going to bring my legs as far down the wall as I can, and then I'm going to straighten my legs, and I'm going to hold for, if I did this normally, I'd hold it for between 30 and 60 seconds, and I'm really pushing away from the wall, okay? Now this last little bit that I'm going to do, Phil, if you don't really, how are you going over there? Oh, you're watching. Okay, so this last bit, when I come down, I'm going to try to roll my spine down, but I'm compressing my body, so I'm trying to pull my legs into my body like that. Nice, that's really good. A lot of you will struggle with this. It is harder than it looks. Wherever you want, man. But it's better if next time if you go closer to the wall so your feet are actually pressed up against the wall. Now point your toes, straighten your knees and try and roll your spine down on the ground whilst compressing your legs in towards your body. Nice. So you're actively compressing your legs in while you roll your spine down. Yep. And now we'll just go into a little bit of a pancake. Okay. As always, we've got to warm up our pancake. So
I don't think I could have straightened my legs if I tried there.
Yeah. So we're not going to do anything exciting today. We're just going to make sure that we warm up the pancake. So we're going to actively pull down into the pancake as much as we can.
Extend and...
Well, it's just, rather than just letting yourself flop, it means to tense your quads, tense your glutes, and pull your body forward. So here's my sort of passive range if I just sit here, but if I actively go, watch what happens differently in my body. So I'm really, really working here,
Yeah, you're tensing.
pulling myself down. Yeah, it's not, there's nothing relaxed about what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to really switch the bodies, you know. Feeling good?
So good.
Now we'll just do a couple of little warm-ups for the wrist because we are literally stone cold. We haven't done anything for this yet. So we just got to warm our wrists up a bit.
Perfect. It's going to be good.
Just do this one now. Okay, change directions. And then we'll just do this one where you push the fingers and palm, fingers, palm, fingers, palm, fingers, palm. So I'm just pushing my fingers into the ground, then the palms, then the fingers, then palms, but I'm not moving forwards and backwards like this, which is what's going to happen when we're upside down. This is how we're going to save ourselves in the handstand. Okay.
I had a bit of go of handstand training on Wednesday afternoon.
Oh, you did?
Just trying to get that finger thing going,
Yeah.
and feel just how much more strength I need in it. So
Yep.
been doubling down on that one.
Yeah, awesome. And then because we're about to do a press to handstand, this is a really good thing to do from here. We're going to come down and fold ourselves over in a standing pike, and then we're going to come up, transfer the weight onto the hands whilst compressing in. So as I come up on my toes, I'm trying to pull my legs into my chest. Yep, Phil's going to have a good time trying to do a press to handstand. So the number one thing you're looking for here, bring your hands further forward so it's a little bit easier. Try to straighten your knees and go up on your toes. Nice, nice, nice. Even if, I remember when I was learning how to do this, I used to fall forward because I couldn't control it like I am now. So the only way I could come up, I'd end up going like that. But doing that got me to where I am now. So eventually you want to not fall forward, of course. All right, so there's different ways to do this, and I thought long and hard about how I was going to teach today's session, because in all honesty, what I really liked about press to handstand training, what got great results for me, was doing circuits like what I showed yesterday. But I've got a better understanding of how to do things and how to put a program together than the average person. So to get to where I was to be able to create that circuit, I created that program for myself. So maybe rather today I'm just going to show a couple of exercises that you can try and master, and if you do master these exercises, then, because what you said is really true, putting them all together in a circuit is is
kind of
very challenging. Yeah,
just mentally
Yeah.
as well as physically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely, when you were saying like that's how you get enough stimulus to get the strength gain, like for sure. But
Yeah.
I think at the beginning, learning a skill.
yeah,
is so
learning
important to
learning the
chunk
skill
it,
is the
break
more
it down.
important part, and then once you've got these, which are really just exercises, but once you've got them into something that you can do, then you can put them together into a circuit. So what we're going to do now, we're actually going to do a press to handstand, but we're going to do it with the feet elevated. This is the easiest way to learn how to do a press to handstand, because if you think about it, the whole thing that makes a press to handstand is when you transition your weight from your feet to the hands. So if you can lift your feet higher off the ground, it actually makes it a bit easier. So I haven't done this for so long, so I'm just going to play around with it. I'll demonstrate it and we'll see what happens. So you put your hands down on the ground, come relatively close to the wall, because if you fall forward, you want that wall to save you, and you've got to be prepared that you are going to fall forward. So you've got to be, in your mind, you're really ready for that. And then what happens is we're going to come up on our feet, and we're just going to try and do exactly what we did on the ground over there, so that you lift up. You can even bring your feet a little bit wider so you're almost in a straddle. So you come up on your toes and you're shifting the weight onto your hands. And then from that point there, we're just going to lift off and then back down.
Just like that. Just like that. I'm going to take this actually.
So you can see when I do that, the moment that I lift off, there's no weight in my legs. I don't have to jump or anything. It's all about shifting that weight into the hands, okay? So I'm going to help you by basically just helping you balance and not fall forward. Yeah, handstand width apart, that's it. Just get used to the first couple of times, get used to the idea of just trying to push through your hands and straighten your feet and get right up on your toes. So there's a couple of things we know aren't going to happen. you're not going to fall over because there's a wall right there.
Yeah.
So that's what the wall's for. So all I want you to do is at all costs, just straighten your feet like that and go up on your toes. Nice, nice. Just do that a couple of times. Bend your knees now, and now come up and push the ground away from you like you're trying to do a calf raise. So what are you feeling there?
Lots of things. Yeah, hard. I guess it kind of felt hard to like know how on my, like I was on the tip of my toes, but I didn't feel like I was pushing up very well. So
Yeah, yeah. So you're actually only really getting to about there. So what I want you to try and, what we're going to do now is when you do it, the only thing that I want you to think about is to go like that.
Okay.
To go up on your toes.
So
I don't care.
Bent,
I don't care. Just try and go up on your toes at all costs.
Right.
Okay, so let's give this a try. Nice, nice, nice. Now relax and do a couple of reps like that. Now on this next rep, we're going to lift off and I'm going to help you. Come up, now lift. Nice, nice. Now come down, come down, come down. You can see, it's not as easy as it looks, isn't it? When somebody like me does it, it makes it look a little bit easier.
Like, yeah, just lift up. It's like my body has no understanding of how that would.
That's exactly what
happen,
it is.
so.
That's exactly what it is. There's just no neural connection between how do I transition this weight so that I just come off the ground like that. Yeah. So, and what does it come down to? What do I need to do more of? Exactly what we've done these last couple of days. You need more compression strength, you need more flexibility, and you need more understanding of how you come from your toes onto your hands like that. Because if you look at what I'm trying to tell Phil to do, just step back a bit, Richie. The whole press to handstand is all about that ability to just go from here up, like that. So to come forward and then onto your hands.
Yeah, it feels like you're asking me to like touch my toe to like the top of my thigh, like to get my knee to do something that like cannot possibly, like I wouldn't even know how to activate that thing. Like that's what that kind of feels like at the moment. So
this is,
I guess seeing you there, you do like a little bit of a hop, like a little bit of a jump to get up. Is that?
Yeah. Well, it might look that way, but I'm not actually jumping. If you, there's the moment when you lift off, the moment from when you say, okay, I'm going to get my legs off the ground, you very quickly get your feet up so that your hips are stacked. Yeah. Because obviously, if I'm trying to balance at this point here, that's really hard. So the second my feet actually come off the ground, I immediately roll my pelvis up to try and get to that balanced point. So from here, but I'm not actually jumping. I'm not going jump like that. It's just that the moment I lift off, my legs pull me up.
Pretty quickly pull yourself into that.
Yeah. And that's the hardest part.
Yes.
Because once you get to that point in the handstand while I was there, you're already in the handstand and it's just bringing your legs together. So yeah, it's a bitch of a thing. So we're going to do something now that's going to help with that, but it isn't that much easier.
If I was to like, if I was to, people at home wanting to try that out, how many repetitions of that would you like?
It's like anything. It's because it's a strength movement. Okay, you want to be doing between 3 and 5 reps, but you really need to do a total amount of 25 to 50 repetitions in one workout to make a change in your body.
And so this would be your sort of A workout.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is your A1 movement, your number 1 movement. This is the one you do when you're fresh. And now what we're going to do is the B, or the supplementary lift, which is going to be an easier way of working the same thing.
Just disclaimers. If you're trying this out, like make sure that what you're bouncing off is quite a stable thing, like that it's not going to just tip over when you jump up, and also make sure your wall's set up so you have plenty of space and you're not going to be kicking up against things. We really don't want to, if you're trying that out on like a flimsy bench or something, then stuff can go wrong. So really get real about the safety, because if you injure yourself, then that's just going to slow you down. You got to be smart when you do this stuff. Now, the next exercise that I want to do, it actually does require us to go down the gym a little bit, and because of where this camera cuts out, unfortunately Richard can't move to exactly where we need to be. So look, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try it here and we'll see what happens, because we need width on the wall. So this one is, look, I mean, it's a way of getting a press to handstand, so this is where we need our socks for. But this is
certainly not a beginner exercise, okay? So I'm really gonna have to help Phil with this one, because if you're a beginner and you try this and you haven't worked on the stuff we did on the episode on Wednesday, then there is a serious risk of injury here.
I'm going to do something with this one and not even the last one. I thought the last one was hard enough, so here we go.
Yeah, but this one has a real risk of injury because you can fall off the wall here, okay? So what I'm going to do, and again, I haven't done this one for so long, so I can't remember how far away from the wall I have to be, so I've just got to play around with it. So from here, so the closer I can get to the wall, the better it's going to be. And I'm going to split so I get to my straddle, and then I'm going to use the wall to help guide me down and then back up. Oop, that was a little bit too close there.
You could use that, like, surely just here would be alright, wouldn't it?
Ah, sure. Yeah, it's just Richard. Just don't go back a little bit so we don't lose reception. All right. Now what I'm going to do is make sure you don't fall forward. Okay.
I appreciate you.
And what you're going to do, you're not going to go below horizontal with your feet. So your legs will open, and then you'll keep your knees straight at all times, and you'll slide down the wall until your legs get to horizontal, and then you'll go back up, and we're going to try 3 to 5 reps.
If I need to bail out, best to go sideways?
You won't really have that choice. If you
Trustful
bail out, you'll fall forward and it'll be a cartwheel,
Yeah.
which would not be good with this here. It would be
Yeah.
very dangerous.
Move that.
No. I mean the whole rig. Like you wouldn't do this here, but I'm going to be here, so I'm not going to let you fall. Okay. So up you go. A little bit closer to. Okay. Now that's enough. Come a bit further away. A bit more. Yeah. Okay. Now point your toes, tense your quads, split your legs open nice and slow. Keep coming, as wide as you can get them. Keep coming, keep coming. Lower, lower, lower with the feet, lower with the feet. Now come back up, bring them together. Good. And again. Nice, and then back up. And one more. Okay, good, back up, good. Okay, come down. Now before we go back in the, actually we're going to do one compression drill today as well.
Way easier than that one, for sure. I mean, maybe it's because you're holding my hips, but
Yeah.
like it felt way easier.
But when you see the video of yourself, you're not actually getting to horizontal yet, so yeah. So have another look at the way I do it now that you've seen Phil do it. So what we want is you really want to try and get this coming down to horizontal even lower and working this movement. So I'm really strengthening that part. So everything that we've done so far is strengthening strengthening the bottom part of the lift off of the press to handstand. This is strengthening the top part, because now we're trying to work to a press to handstand. So we're practicing lifting off the ground, and then we're practicing getting up to the top. Okay. So now we're going to do one compression drill, and I'll demonstrate it first, and then Phil can have a go. This is an absolute mofo of an exercise, Richie. So I'll just talk through it. So I'm just going to come down into a Jefferson curl hold. Now I'm completely cold when I start this workout, so this is not my best effort at all, but I'm going to hold this for 30 seconds. Normally I do between 30 and 60 seconds, but I'll do 30 seconds just so that I warm up a little bit. This is for anybody that watches our show regularly and knows my injury history. This is my weakest link because I suffer poor forward flexion in my lumbar spine. If you look at my back, you can see from the thoracic spine up, I've got decent flexion, but in my lumbar, it's quite flat. So this is my worst flexibility movement. Now, a superset, we're going to come down. You've seen me do this one before, Phil. I know you have. Now you're going to experience the joy. And I'm going to come up and then forward and hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the idea is up as far as I can with no concern about how far back your hands go. So your hands go back, lift up, then you hold up, compressed, walk your hands forward. There's a point where you'll go from your fingers where your weight will fall on your hands, At that point, you still try to go as far forward as you can until your feet are just off the ground, and then you lift as hard as you can. Hold it for 10 seconds, and we're going to do 3 reps of that.
I think seeing you do that is maybe what's made me not want to try any calisthenics up until this point, just seeing you like grunting in pain as you do that exercise. So.
All right, let's jump on there and do 30 seconds. I'm going to time you doing 30 seconds. I'm just going to have a look at our stream and make sure it's still working. Hopefully. Yeah, good. All right, awesome. Okay, so lock those knees out, Phil. Lock them out. Good. Keep the knees straight. Breathe deeply. Breathe deep. Knees straight. So what we're looking for here, everyone, is to keep those knees as straight as you can. A little bit of tension in the quads. Breathe deep. Relax. Don't fight it. Let it pull you down. Okay. We're going to go for another 15 seconds. I like to do between 30 and 60 seconds, and a goal weight, a target, like when you're as strong as you can be, would be 1/3 of your body weight. So don't be grabbing any 30 or 40 kilo kettlebells when you do this. Okay, that's good, Phil. Bring it down. Okay, let's go. So a superset, less than 10 seconds break. Here we go. So hands back, knees straight, and really tense quads. Lift up as high as you can. Good. Now walk the hands forward. Keep going until the weight goes on your palms. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. More until the weight goes on your palms. Keep going, further forward, further forward. Keep the palms on the ground, palms on the ground. Okay, now hold it as high as you can. Lift as high as you can. Pull hard, palms on the ground. Pull up as hard as you can. Relax. 2 more reps. Go again. Arms back, go. Up, 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 up. Now walk the hands forward. Crawl, keep going. Come on, more, faster. Get there, palms on the ground. Keep crawling. Okay, lift up, 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 up. 10 seconds. Tense the quads, lift the legs as high as you can. Keep going. 5 more seconds. Keep it going. And last rep. Here we go. Up, 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 up. Good. Point the toes. Tense the quads. Go forward. More. Now push it. Lift. Come on. 5, 4, up. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Good work. All right, let's get back in the gym. So what we've done there, everyone, is I've shown you a little bit of a different warm-up, but in all honesty, the warm-up that we showed you on Wednesday, I'd do that over this one. The warm-up that we did today was not an intermediate warm-up. That's not what I did. Phil's still on the floor in pain, I think. The warm-up that I showed you today was just a different warm-up, just to show you some different stuff. Now, the next thing is then we went into doing an actual press to handstand, but from an elevated foot position. And you could see from Phil's efforts, you need more training than what Phil's done to be ready to do that stuff. This was an intermediate press to handstand workout. You know, from a hand balancing expert opinion, this might still be considered a beginner press to handstand workout, but from our perspective and from someone that's never done a press to handstand before, I'd call this an intermediate workout. And you know, maybe we'll do an advanced workout one day if there's enough of you that want to see it, but you have to be able to at least do a press to handstand.
Yeah, just remember that like all this stuff, like it's all on a spectrum, so it doesn't, you know, you're not going to get a green belt when you get to intermediate hand balance level. You're always going to be on that spectrum, and you're going to realize like, oh, okay, maybe I could, you know, do a bit more of that beginner foundation. I think even calling it more of a foundation drill rather than beginner drill. To the earlier stuff we showed in the week to really keep working on some of the fundamental strength of this, and then going up and down the spectrum rather than being like, yeah, you made it, you're an intermediate. But what does that even mean? Like if you're struggling to do stuff. But,
that's right. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. It's all
semantics, but you know, words are important.
Yeah, so. That's right. So guys, if you're watching, please, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button, leave us a comment with your name and where you're watching from so we can give you a shout out. Let's have a look who's on the line today. We've got Basil Kennedy. Hello, handsome men. He's saying, well, thank you, Basil. We've got Quack is saying, good lads, good morning, lads. He's corrected himself. And then he said, Dr. Phil's face when Rad said one more compression drill.
I thought at the end there, I was like, sweet, that, you know, the legs on the wooden wall thing. I was doing, you know, a quarter range reps. I was like, oh yeah, feeling pretty good at myself. Yeah, that's tick. Let's go back inside the office now.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to say something in a sec. I'm going to say something now, actually. What Phil demonstrated out there is exactly the reason as to why we created the UMS to be something that prioritizes raw strength and raw flexibility above anything else. Because through my own personal experience, through my pursuit of calisthenics, it doesn't matter what I tried to do. It doesn't matter how much I programmed certain skills in. What I've found is after a couple of painful years of really just seeing very, very small returns for the amount of effort that I put in, is that at the most basic level, you just need to be strong and flexible to be able to do calisthenics and movement.
My flexibility is so lacking. You can see I can't really straighten my, even the ostrich walks, like I can't get my legs straight. So press to handstands, that's going to be my biggest barrier, I think, to getting this movement. Obviously, the compression strength is lacking, but I can kind of pull my legs up fairly well and some of that hanging stuff. But when it comes to actually getting my legs straight in that pike position, I'm useless. So you can see that no matter how much I tried that, like that will slowly build up my flexibility, but it's not going to build up my flexibility as much as focused flexibility work while I'm also doing strengthening work.
And for me, who's had a really bad shoulder injury this year and I've been building my strength back up, but I've been really working on my flexibility and my compression strength, I'm able to go straight back into a press to handstand without doing any work on it at all. Anything. I haven't done any press to handstand work all year. I've done more press to handstands in these last 2 shows than I've done in 12 months, honestly. So it really goes to show how important that strength and flexibility is, which is why we do things the way we do at Unity Gym. Let's continue with our comments here. Natalie Vanderbilt is saying, absolutely love these videos. These are the first videos I've ever found that explain how to train for press to handstand. That's really cool. Thank you so much. We are actually going to do a proper, we haven't done them for a while because we've been so busy, but we also do properly produced videos on our YouTube show where we have a script and everything and we know exactly what we're doing and they get edited. We're going to do one of those for this workout and for some of the other calisthenics workouts that we did last week.
We've been prioritizing doing these live shows because hopefully all this, all the engagement in the chat, you really enjoy that. So
it makes us realize what we're going to make in the
exactly. So the more kind of things that you ask for or shows that you want to see, then the more we'll do of these, but also it'll guide which kind of post-production stuff we want to do as well. So keep those comments coming.
So, sorry, my battery.
So
Pigment Film is saying, missed the start, lads. Is this harder than crow/frog to handstand? Pretty new to this stuff. Definitely need to work on the foundation exercises rather than straight into the full attempts.
Wise.
Wise, very wise. Don't make the mistake I made and try to just work on calisthenics movements. Do learn from my mistakes, make yourself as strong and as flexible as you can, and use the calisthenics movements to check in every couple of cycles to see how the strength and flexibility work that you're doing is transferring to it. Don't do what I did where all you do is calisthenics and think that that's going to get you to where you want to be. It just didn't work.
What's a crow
so
frog?
A crow to frog, it's that bent arm frog stand that we're doing, and then you push up into a handstand. It's totally different. It's not the same move at all because that requires bent arm strength to go from a frog to handstand. This doesn't require bent arm strength at all, and the frog to handstand doesn't require any compression strength at all.
Is crow and frog the same?
Yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure they call it the crow in yoga, and we call it the bent arm frog stand or the straight arm frog stand. And in all honesty, I've never pursued the crow to handstand. It's just not been something that's interested me. So maybe I will one day, and I'll be able to give you some better feedback.
Get out on the show and see if you can do it right now.
Not with where my shoulder's at right now, and that's a good example of what you should and shouldn't be doing.
That was a test. That was the old physio test.
That was Phil testing me, because that's something that I've never ever done in my life. I'm absolutely not going to attempt it when I'm in the later stages of rehab for a shoulder injury.
He's good.
See? So Janice Douse is saying, "Hi Rad, I can't stand in straight line when I'm doing the handstand. I've got a banana handstand." He's saying. Is it more important to work on my shoulder mobility than my actual handstand protocol, or is it a combination? All the best.
So is that too flexed rather than reverse banana would be the extended one?
Yeah. So too much shoulder extension and too much spine extension.
Oh, okay. Because because mobility wouldn't be the issue there if you.
No. Too much shoulder extension.
Flexion.
Isn't that shoulder flexion? And that shoulder extension?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
I get that wrong all the time too. And now I've gotten Phil with it.
Right.
So, okay, so The answer is that yes.
But spine extension.
Yeah, spine
no,
extension.
Spine flexion in that case.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all wrong.
Yeah, we're all wrong. So, you know what? This is what I love about this. It's better to just go, my arms don't go here.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
then you can't fuck that up.
Yeah. Totally.
So, yes, mobility is definitely what you need to work on, but you still want to work on the handstand. You don't want to not work on it. Unless if your shoulder flexion is so poor that you just can't get up there, then you're going to be doing a lot of damage to yourself. So absolutely double down on, we've got a really good video that's trending at the moment. It's in our top rated videos of how to increase overhead flexibility. Double down on that. Check in with your handstand every now and then and see how it's all coming together for you.
Yeah, and just keep building that strength in the range that you have as well. Like that's part of mobility. But yeah, building that strength in whatever range of flexion you have.
Yep.
Yeah, get loading it either in the handstand or in overhead press movements, and yeah, you'll find that you'll be able to get further and further, unless you've got some other shoulder condition that's stopping you.
Yep. So Quack is saying, Rad, I had a question on the pike stretch. In the pike stretch, Quack, can you just quickly clarify? You're talking about the standing pike stretch that I did just out there, or the one where we were laying on the ground with our legs up against the wall? In the pike stretch, if you can't get your lower back angled down, should you still down the stretch? I think you mean to say, should you still do the stretch? So that's a good question, and we'll see what Phil's input on this is. My input on that is that absolutely you should, and it's a matter of does it cause you pain when you do it? Because the stretch, if you can't, like that's like saying I can't do the splits. Should I train the splits? Well, you train the splits so that you can do the splits one day, or rather you train adductor stretching so that you can do the splits one day. So absolutely, my lower back, as I explained when I was doing that stretch out there, is I get very poor lumbar flexion, and I have to every day I go through a warm-up process of about anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes just to get a little bit of movement in my lumbar spine, because it just stiffens up so much over every night. So, but I do those pike stretches. That's like my number one thing that I'm working on, and it's working. It's slower than other people, but I'm getting better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly what Rad said. Like, build into it. Again, it just takes time. It takes your body time, like, to get used to that position, and your structures will strengthen up the positions you get into. But obviously, if you're not quite into that pike stretch, then really loading it up is, can potentially cause you a bit of grief. But just
it's all about being progressive.
Just slow, patient, progressive. I mean, if you've got any concerns about your back, if you had back injury in the past, or it doesn't just quite feel right, then definitely work with a professional and see what they think. But yeah.
My greatest injuries that I've ever had came always from being attached to the end result. So I had a goal and I was attached to achieving that goal. And so when I wasn't seeing progress, I would force it, because I was like, well, I've been doing this for 3 months and nothing's happening. I'm going to force to go further. Always when I did my worst injuries. The times that I've had the best gains, the greatest progress with no injury, is with zero attachment to the end goal. When I have my goal and I assess myself and I go, wow, I can't do that, what should I do? And then I come up with a plan, and then I just do it with no attachment to, am I getting better? I just do it, just do the work, and then you look back and you go, whoa, look how far I've come.
My injuries are always dumb stuff. Just when I'm not paying attention, I just nail myself. So,
yeah, that's the other one as well.
It's like you, when you're concentrating on something and you're really like switched on, and then you just, as soon as you stop.
You know what's you know what's funny, Phil? And this is going to sound patronising, and it probably is because I'm an old man compared to you. But I used to be like that. I remember the days when I used to injure myself from dumb shit. And one of the first lessons that I taught myself was, I'm not going to do dumb shit anymore because I keep getting injured. I'm not even saying
dumb stuff. It's like literally, as soon as I was doing a gymnastics training back at like 6 years ago, where I was doing like front flips, and then I had done like a full-on progression into being able to do them down the tramp, and then the coach said something, and I turned to face him, and I just nailed my ankle. Like it wasn't the flips. It was like
dumb.
Like it was just, as soon as you kind of switch off from the thing you're doing, I was mountain biking and like finished this crazy hard thing, and then I was trying to get off my bike, and I nailed my ankle. Like,
so you were mountain biking in the gymnastics class?
Yeah. Pretty extreme. But like all these different examples of like I was just thinking back, like, when have my worst injuries been? It's like, no, I just fell down a pothole in Bolivia and like hurt myself. Like just,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Don't go mountain biking in gymnastics classes in Bolivia. You'll run into trouble, all right?
That's why you tune in for this quality information here.
All right, well, look, thank you so much for your engagement this week, and thanks for giving us this great idea for doing a press to handstand tutorial series. Let us know what you want to see next week. It'll be our last week before we break for Christmas.
Yesterday I did a post on the Unity community feed, which is apparently a thing. You can actually put up posts, which was when Rad and Yanni were away yesterday, and I sort of posted the idea about if they're away, would you keen to do like a Q&A session with me, asking me some either physio stuff or science of exercise and bloody blah blah. All that's on the post. So if you go across to the Unity page, go on the community feed, and then post in some like more specific, like a few people have put in being like, yeah, do this and this and this and this. Specific questions would be really good, and then I can plan a bit, and if there's enough interest, then we can do something like that. So
you heard it here first.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your training, and leave us some comments on how you go with some of these press to handstand drills. We want to know how you're doing.
Players, let me know if you share my pain from that last drill. That last drill is nasty. So I want to hear that we're all in this together.
Yeah. See you later, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Health is about performance, not just body image.
You better be willing to accept what you're going to have to do to get there.
We'll start focusing on movement goals, strength goals, flexibility goals.
When you nail that skill, it's there forever.
The body image goal doesn't get you that
It's
far.
the consistency and frequency that's going to get you there. It's not the intensity.
There's no shortcuts to mastery and movement. Destination doesn't change overnight, but your direction will.
The gym is not the place to beat up the body that you hate. It's the place to build the body that you love.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.